Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Does he agree that Scenario 2 in Budget 2014 Economic and Fiscal Update, which is based on net migration being over 40,000 people, forecasts higher interest rates, increased housing demand, higher inflation, more household dissaving, and that, quotes, additional consumption is funded through increasing levels of household debt, and this constrains consumption growth further as debt servicing costs increase?
Honourable Bill English.
No.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Given that immigration numbers are now tracking to over 40,000 net for the year, does he agree with his party's paid pollster, David Farrer, that discussing the relationship between migration and housing is xenophobic?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, but we don't agree that there's a problem with the economy, or that problem is too many Chinese, too many Indians, too many Samoans, too many vans clogging up the trucks lane on the motorway. We don't believe that Labor's answer of slashing inflation, slashing immigration, is the answer for the economy.
Party. Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Is it xenophobic or racist of the Treasury to say, quotes, that immigration policy should be more closely tailored to the economy's ability to adjust to population increase?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, but it is surprising that the leader of the Labor Party believes that he can slash inflows of migration without any impact on skills supplies, the supply of skills to the economy, or without getting a few questions at the next ethnic celebration day that he goes to, where he says he loves having them in New Zealand.
Point of order, Mr Speaker.
Order. Point of order, the Honourable David
I seek
Parker.
leave to table a Treasury paper dated April 2014 entitled Migration and Macroeconomic Performance in New Zealand, which includes the quote that I have referred to.
The paper's been well described. I just need to check, is it something that's freely available to members?
Well, just about everything's on the web, sir, but it hasn't been circulated. I had to find it.
Order. I'll put the leave the House can determine. Leave it sought to table a Treasury document dated April 2014. Is there any objection? There is not.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Is it racist or xenophobic of the government of China to control immigration levels and ban overseas purchase of Chinese houses or farms by New Zealanders?
Or insofar as there is ministerial responsibility, Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, we don't have any responsibility for the policies of the Chinese government in the same way as the Labor front bench wishes it didn't have responsibility for its leader.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Louise Upston.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary to the Minister of Finance. How does the forecast net migration peak of 41,500 under the Treasury Scenario 2 in the budget compare with recent trends in net migration?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, the forecast peak is not unusual by recent standards. For example, in the year to May 2003, net migration peaked at more than 43,000, somewhat outside the range that the Leader of the Opposition said was the case, and it was above 30,000 net migration through to February 2004. That followed a period of net outward migration which had hit negative 13,000 in February 2001. So in the space of just over 2 years at that time, net migration went from minus 13,000 to plus 43,000. Under a government which has now been described as, quote, managing a period of steady, predictable migration flows.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Is it xenophobic or racist of the Reserve Bank to link immigration to house prices when they say, quotes, a 1% increase in population caused an 8% increases in house prices over 3 years, end quote, And isn't the truth of it that it's the Prime Minister who's dog whistling in an attempt to cover up his government's failure to control house prices at affordable levels for all New Zealanders, be they recent migrants or born here?
Order. The question's been asked. Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, I disagree with the member's assertions. The Labor Party has a dog whistle in its mouth and it can't decide whether to blow it or not. And then when they talk to their front bench, they disagree.
Order. Supplementary question, Louise Upson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Supplementary to the Minister of Finance. What recent reports has he seen about possible ways of managing migration flows in and out of New Zealand?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr Speaker, because this issue has been discussed extensively, there are a number of reports, but I'd sorted out one or two. First, on Saturday the 18th of May, said that was the easiest way to keep net migration within a zone of 5 to 15,000 was to better manage the point system. The second report on Monday the 20th, where a spokesman confirmed his leader and his party would look to get a stable net migration between 5 and 15,000, and a third report just the next day which said that's not our position. I think at the present time it's going to be difficult to do that, and that was from the leader of the Labor Party who had originally proposed the policy.
Question number 5, Tim McIntyre.
Talo Falava, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of